You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, let's talk about two things, both connected to the Raiders, although one is sort of Raiders adjacent because Tom Brady's involved. His flag football extravaganza didn't do so well in the television ratings. Let's just put it like that. We'll get to that story in a second. Let's get to another story, and I think Raiders fans will get excited about this. Dan Orlovsky, probably not so much after getting obliterated by Pat McAfee yesterday over Ty Simpson, but here you go, Raiders fans. Raiders schedule pre-draft visit with Fernando Mendoza. Obviously, Fernando projected to be the number one overall pick to the Las Vegas Raiders. Who is this? Miles Simmons, okay. If you're assuming the Raiders will select quarterback Fernando Mendoza with the number one overall pick in this year's draft, you're not alone. Vegas has reportedly taken another step in the process of making that widely held assumption become a reality. Via Ian Rappaport of NFL Media, the Raiders will host Mendoza for a top 30 pre-draft visit in 2 weeks. It has not been reported whether Mendoza has taken other visits or will meet with other teams. It would be a stunner if the Raiders were to pass on Mendoza at number one overall. Mendoza is slated to work out at Indiana's Pro Day April 1, which will represent another step for him on the path to the draft. But everything seems to be shaping up for Mendoza to become the next QB1 in Vegas. Well, they may sign a veteran too that may start in the meantime. That's something we've talked about. Kirk Cousins has been rumored there. That if Tom Brady had his druthers, he would like to see any rookie quarterback set for a while. He has talked about that in the past, that he believes the guy should set, soak in the NFL, learn the system, etc., etc. He did not start as a rookie. We all know that, but then again, he was a sixth-round pick. So if he'd have started, if he'd have set for 3 years, nobody would have thought anything about it. And then, of course, he didn't, and he came in and rewrote NFL history. So there you go, Raiders fans. Your guy is coming to visit Vegas. Now, let's go over here because the Raiders minority owners Fanatics Flag Football Classic, which he played in, didn't do so hot in the ratings. It didn't. And somewhere Roger Goodell is cringing because Roger Goodell so desperately, and the NFL so desperately, wants flag football to become a thing. And I contest it's not really going to become a thing. Look, we've digested and know what tackle football feels and looks like. It's not enough tackle football for us now in the NFL. It's been watered down so much on the defensive side of the ball that we're like, can we put more tackling back in tackle football? But yet the NFL wants to go the other direction. Why? Once again, CTE. Let's not get confused. That's what all these changes are about long term. And many fans, including myself, are somewhat concerned that the NFL in 30 years could be flag football. I hope not. But, you get concerned. I won't be alive anyway, so what does it matter? But nonetheless, you get my point. Now, before we get to the specifics, and this is Florio who wrote the article, let's just look at the UFL. This is their ratings for last year. 645,000 to 670,000 fans. Their championship game grabbed 983,000 viewers. By the way, the UFL is back this Friday and this weekend. I'm going to make a point to watch this year. I watched the first year of the XFL coming back, and I watched some of the USFL. I have not watched since. I'm going to try to make a point to watch this year. That, and I tell you one thing flag football did do when I watched it, because I actually sat through this 4-hour situation. The fuck was I thinking? Excuse my French. I sat down through this 4 hours and I was like, what? We got 4 games? I looked down. I was like, this has been going on for 4 hours. It started at 3. I looked up and it was like 7 minutes till 7 or something. I'm like, Rhodes, did you just do this to yourself? Bam! Stick a fork in your eye instead, man. What are you doing? So, let's just look. Flag football has a long way to go to have the appeal or match the appeal of tackle football. No doubt about it. Beyond the fact that the stands at BMO Stadium in Los Angeles were far from filled, there were maybe 10,000 fans there. The national broadcast on Fox generated an audience on average of 650,000 viewers via Austin Karp of Sports Business Journal. The telecast peaked at 909,000. That was probably when Brady came in. You reckon it peaked during the NFL versus NFL portion of this? Because they did have that one game where they played each other. So you actually had, what, Jalen Hurts or somebody? No, was it Brady versus Burrow at that point? I don't know. The 4-game flag football tournament competed against the second round of the NC2A tournament for the men's, first round of the women's. Flag football event did do well on social media per SBJ, a global audience of 300 million. Yeah, but look, in parentheses, it's unclear how that number was determined. It kills me that that they're trying to shoehorn people taking a 10-second glance on Twitter into counting as an audience now. That's nobody sitting around because, I mean, there's no ads on that or any, I mean, it's ridiculous. And frankly, the involvement of the U.S. men's national team made the event far more compelling. Okay, I agree with that. All right? Yeah, me and Florio don't agree on a lot of things, but I agree with him on that. The U.S. men's team was actually kind of interesting to watch. But I think some of that was just watching the sheer athleticism of them just running by NFL players like they were standing still. That was the compelling part, was watching the NFL players get their teeth kicked in. Now, I would love to see what this would look like if the NFL players got more than like 4 days to get ready or whatever it was. This was obviously an exhibition, but nonetheless, you had a bunch of really different kind of body types on that U.S. Men's team. But that rating, that's not going to do it. I mean, your rating we're talking the same rating as UFL. Do you know who's starting for Birmingham this weekend? Or Friday night in the opener? Matt Corral. Yeah, that guy. I think drafted in the 3rd round, remember? By the Panthers out of Ole Miss. Am I going nuts? That is the starting quarterback. And yeah, I'm going to watch that. I'm just letting you know because my boy AJ McCarron is coaching that team. But nonetheless, I mean, UFL, I will give the new owner, and there's a new active owner, the guy that owns Vitamin Water, bought into the UFL. He's the one that wants to expand it, blah, blah, blah. He did make one huge change that I like. He moved all these games into smaller stadiums so it will look much fuller. That's smart. Because when you watch the XFL, when the XFL come back, they had like 5 of their teams that were drawing real crowds. We're talking like 20,000 plus fans. And then COVID hit, right? And so when they came back, a lot of those fans didn't come back. And then it made it look, and the XFL looked good on television in its comeback. And the ratings were good. They were getting like viewers up in the 2-3 million range. And Then you started watching and there was no fans in the stadium, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, damn, I'm going to become invested in something when nobody else cares. This thing will be gone in blah, 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 2 years. Somehow we are still alive here. And I think the right thing to do was to combine those two leagues. I just don't see flag football. Maybe the Olympics is, the NFL is banking that flag football in the Olympics is going to change everything. How many people do y'all know that's run out and started, really gotten interested in joining their local curling club? Because look, curling is watched by everybody when the Winter Olympics is going. That hadn't caused a huge fire burning in anybody's belly to go out and start playing curling. Tell me what you think. I understand it's football, but you get my point. It's not going to work. People want tackle football, tackle mother effing football. Jacked up, bring jacked up back. We want to see guys' heads getting knocked off at somebody trying to run across the middle. Ooh, that guy got lit up. Tom Jackson. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.